the Albatross spin. Very heavy part of Steve's arsenal. Steve's Albatross spin is very good for closing the distance. And that is also the purpose of this stance, is to primarily close distance in some fashion in order to either extend on a combo, to launch in heat, or to poke the opponent. So you can close the distance and poke, you can close the distance and provide pressure. We're gonna go over it all here in this video. All right, so Albatross spin, renamed quick spin, can also be used as an escape as well. If the opponent ever has you back turn like this, and Steve's pay attention to this because this is gonna help you greatly. Whenever an opponent has you back turn, always go for Albatross spin. Albatross spin from the back turn. Do not try to crouch, as crouching may lead to you getting hop kicked. If you spin, you will not get counter hit. As far as I know, I've never been counter hit out of this. Always guys, Albatross spin when you're in back turn. If your opponent's pressuring you from back turn, Albatross spin will provide a very good way to escape that pressure, and then you can hit down, back, or whatever option to forward face and get back on pressure. Cyclone punch or Albatross spin 2 is a very good pressure tool in this game, and is also a heat engager. So on block, this move is very useful as a poke. Only -3 on block. Those are very good frames, and it puts you at a decent distance once the move is finished. Puts you at about range 2, neutral range 2. Perfect for if an opponent whiffs after trying to catch you when using this move. It can provide an open opportunity for something like back 2. Put you at a pretty good distance at -3. This is an extremely useful poke. This is why I included it in our part 1 video, but I really want to iterate that poking with Cyclone Punch is very good. This move can be linear, so watch it in high level play. You will catch opponents that will sidestep this move for the sake of launching you, so be careful when using it there. But as a poke, you can even mix this up with a sidestep of your own, so you catch your opponent stepping, you can step too. Sidestep Cyclone Punch. If you catch it, it's a heat engager and can then be turned into a launcher if you're already in heat. So if you're already in heat and you're floating around here and you're looking for an opportunity, you do Cyclone Punch, hold forward, boom, you have a launcher. That's crazy. You have a launcher that does crazy damage. This is one of the best ways besides rocket launcher to get a launcher out of heat. So rocket launcher and this move are very good moves when in heat to provide an offensive advantage and launcher with Steve just from poking around. All right, Cyclone knee clip, Albatross spin down 2. Very good poke. You can kind of see it coming, but it puts you at an axis. It's very good to mix in with Albatross 2, so you're mixing in your mids, and your opponent's probably tired of getting hit mid, so they're going to try to outspace you. You mix in Albatross down 2 and get some very cheeky damage. Does 17 damage on hit, and it puts you off axis. So even if your opponent were to block and counter respond, it would go off axis, and you could even be an advantage here. And it puts you at a pretty decent distance away from an opponent that will respond after getting hit with that low. Very good low, and should be utilized in all forms of play. Spin into peekaboo, very useful and underutilized by Steve's. This is a very easy way to slip into pressure. The way I use this is if the opponent perhaps just got hit with a combo and I'm providing an Okuzeme, and you know they're on the ground, I could do something like, you can spin into pressure. Or if the opponent is turtling, an opponent that perhaps doesn't press a lot of buttons, an opponent we're trying to open up, spin into peekaboo, pressure from a distance. We can also, out of Albatross spin, do a double spin like this. So by doing Albatross spin up or Albatross spin down, we can leave foreground or the background respectively. And from here we have a couple of options. We have double cyclone spin 1. We have albatross spin up 1. We have albatross spin down 1. So the option to do the attack has changed. So where Cyclone Punch was Albatross 2 and it's a heat engager, the double Cyclone Punch is not a heat engager. So we lose our ability to heat engage from it, but in exchange we gain enhanced options similar to ducking in, like how ducking transitions into ducking in. We get enhanced options. We get the same thing for our Albatross. So it's technically, I guess, like a 10th stance for Steve in a way. So we do double Albatross 1 and we get damage. So look, we do Albatross spin 2 and it does 22 damage and is a heat engager. That is plus 16 if it's done on a regular hit. We do a double Albatross spin 1 and look at that. Instead of doing 22 damage, it does 34 damage and it sends the opponent way further. So if we were to hit them with just Albatross spin 2, they go about here. We hit them with double Albatross spin 1, they land over there. So they get wall splatted further. In addition to that, it has evasive properties and it also does more damage. Double Cyclone down 1, you'll notice instantly the difference or the upgrade that it gets from Albatross down 2. So from Albatross down 2, you sort of get a knee clipper that used to in Tekken, I believe Tekken Tag 2 and Tekken 6, this move used to knock you down off rip. As soon as you got hit with it, you was going down, face down, feet back, I believe. Now that move is exclusively for the double Albatross down 1. So you do double Albatross down 1 and you basically get your original Albatross down 2 back, and it will provide advantage for the sake of Oki. You can follow up your opponent. You can hit them with a guaranteed down 1+2. We get double spin into peekaboos, double Albatross spin forward. Good for some tricky stuff. Peekaboo montage mix up. And that goes over everything I wanted to go over with Albatross spin. This was a quick one here, I know. This one hardly has any options, but the purpose of it is clear. It is to close the distance with pokes or pressure. So we'll use poking, Albatross spin 2 to potentially get a wall splat. We'll do Albatross down 2, low from a distance. This is one of our most useful lows from a distance, so we can potentially close out a match or get our opponent to know that they're not safe at the distance they're at range 3. Or we can do a peekaboo option. We can go into peekaboo if the opponent is not moving, or if we're in an Okazeme situation and we're following up, we can sort of do a spin into peekaboo and get some pressure off of them. We can go into double cyclone if we think the opponent is used to our Albatross pressure. Perhaps get them to open up or catch them off axis and hit them with an attack. Just remember that the button changes when you go into the double Albatross spinning. So I appreciate everybody for coming through and watching. We're gonna go into ducking next. Arguably Steve's most important stance, but you're gonna have to click this video.